So we have a recording. And a couple quick things before I mute, turn off my screen. Um, I'm going to be sharing links in the chat. The chat's disabled for attendees. As you have questions, throw them into the Q&A. I'll be passing them along to Andy so that he can answer them after his presentation. After Q&A, Andy's going to take just a few minutes and he wants to show you some of the features of Composer and how you can use it to with AI. And he'll really show you around. And I think Andy also is going to go live within the platform. Is that correct, Andy?
It is, yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to mute, turn off my camera. Andy, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you being here. I'm Andy Steuer, like Randy said. Really excited about showing you and talking to you about AI and how to harness AI for your own growth. You may realize this, but in case you don't, AI is a completely transformative wave that we're in right now. It's a moment in history where if you imagine being early on the internet, most people wish they were early on the internet, very early stages, or maybe they were early on in paid search, or maybe they were early on in Bitcoin or mobile, all of these things. Well, right now we are at that moment with AI. And so we have an opportunity, all of us on this call today have an opportunity to be able to harness AI to be able to grow our businesses and do things that are different than anybody else is doing out in the market. So that to me is a very exciting kind of moment in time. And we're going to dig in here today. So we'll just jump in. Today's agenda, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about driving site traffic to your website and talking about mastering strategies for promoting posts on social media and turning that engagement into website traffic and conversions, crafting an inbound marketing funnel, right? Driving traffic to your website using AI, using content marketing. And we'll do a deep dive into creating personalized AI powered funnels that will help you drive inbound leads. And then also talk about unleashing the power of AI in tailoring content so that you can drive engagement and demonstrate your expertise and authority in your category. And so that's what we're going to discuss today, and we'll just jump right in here. So every business has a story to tell. You have a story to tell with your company. And what's interesting is that people love stories, right? That's why Instagram calls them stories, right? People love to hear why a company is different than anybody else. And this is your opportunity to be able to create your own publication, right? So historically, what businesses have done is that they've purchased advertising from other companies that have relevant content and traffic on those websites. But that is a market shift that's been happening where people, instead of investing money into other publications to drive traffic, and when you turn that budget off, by the way, that traffic stops. People are shifting those budgets to now create your own content for your own media publication. So your website is a publication and you have an opportunity to tell your story on your website. And so when you do that, lots of things happen. One thing is that you can promote your blog posts on your social media and drive traffic from social to your website. And then you can also benefit from an SEO standpoint by writing content on your website. And so this is the opportunity for any business out there, and we'll dig into that a little bit. So the idea is, what is your story? Marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but the stories that you tell. And what that means is that you have an opportunity to differentiate yourself from your competitors. Your competitors are most likely writing content. Many of them are ranking organically already on Google. And the market is changing pretty dramatically right now. So there's an opportunity for you to be able to tell your story and talk a little bit about what makes you different, how you're solving problems for your customers, and identifying what those challenges are for them, and then answering them. So providing educational material and leading with that. And that's part of shaping your story. So we'll dig into that a little bit and show you how that gets done. You probably know Gary Vaynerchuk. He is one of the most prolific content marketers on the planet. And his point is, whether you like it or not, every single company now is a media company. If you're not producing content, you basically don't exist. So in effect, you have to be writing content. The demand has leveled up quite a bit, so that you now your competitors are writing content. You need to be writing content to be able to have a presence on the internet. So these are table stakes now. One of the things that we know, I'm a content marketer. I've been doing this for a long time, and these are truths about content marketing. Finding the time is hard. Doing keyword and topic research is complex and it's difficult. If you don't have the right tools, it can be challenging. Writing consistently, writing whether it's every day or every other day, or once a week, or whatever your frequency is, keeping it consistent, those are challenges. We're going to talk about how to overcome all these challenges, by the way, but I want to surface this up right here at the beginning. You need to be everywhere also. Not only do you need to write content, but you need to publish it across all of these channels so that you have a consistent brand voice across all these channels. Creating video is challenging, and posting takes even more time. So how's a person to do this, especially if you're a small business or 1 or 2 person company? I'm going to show you how we do that as we go into it here. Your opportunity is to earn the trust of your prospects while demonstrating your expertise and authority in your category. So let's break that out a little bit. What does that mean? What it means is, when you write content and you are talking a little bit about what challenges your customers have and how your business helps solve those challenges for those customers, what you're doing is you're elevating your position in your market. You're taking the higher ground. And when you do that, and you educate your prospects, you're building trust with them, right? And at the same time, you're also demonstrating your expertise. You're saying that you have the tools and you have the solution for what they're looking for. And as part of that, when you start doing all these things, you start to demand and command authority in your category. So this is your opportunity, and this is the benefit of writing content and producing content, whether it's video or blog posts and social media content. So that's the North Star. Some important facts about the market and about what actually happens. This is from the National Sales Executive Association, is that 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. So pretty mind-blowing, kind of stat here. But what happens is that sometimes people go to a website, they'll fill out a form, and 48% of those people never follow up with a prospect, or they don't return a phone call. So this is an opportunity where content can help with that follow-up. It can help inform people and educate people so that you can drive that number down. Another important stat here is that only 2% of sales are made on the first contact. That means that 98% of the leads that are coming in are not ready to buy right now. They want to learn more. They want to establish a relationship with you. And you probably know this from doing it yourself, right? You'll be doing research about something and you poke around and maybe you'll convert in that moment because it might be something that you really need right then. But otherwise, you probably are going to, look around and you're going to kick the tires and you're going to just want to learn a little bit before you convert. Well, during that moment, that's your opportunity to message those people and educate them, right? Because those are what's called market qualified leads. Those are sales qualified leads, rather. Those are people who've identified themselves as being prospects. They've either come to your website or they've called you, and it's your opportunity now to be able to educate them and lead them closer to a transaction. And the way you lead them closer to a transaction is by educating them. So that's what content can do. It can help you convert those people. And then 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So that means that there's several times that you're going to need to communicate with these people to be able to convert them. Content is the vehicle to do that within. So want to level set in terms of what the opportunity is here for everybody on the call, and how important content is as part of your overall media mix in your plan to get to market. So now let's get into what the building blocks are to be able to do a good job of this. really simple to break it down here. There are really kind of three pillars that are very effective in content marketing. There's blog content, social media content, and video or podcasts, right? So let's break each one of these out. So blog content. Blog content is there to boost your SEO rankings with strategic inbound marketing and helps you tell your story and build up an archive of really useful information. You can also repurpose those blog posts and turn them into emails so that once people get on your mailing list, you can post to your website, but then you can also email those people any blog posts that you're posting so that you start to build your own publication and you drive your own engagement around this. And this is what I was talking about earlier about you investing in your own business, right? So that's a great way to be able to do that. And blog content starts to build this archive and repository. A benefit of all that is that when Google comes to crawl your website, they look at the content that you have and they say, oh, this is actually really useful. You are the expert at a particular category. And now they know where to place you in their results. Whereas if it's just a brochure website, they're probably not going to direct traffic to a brochure website because they want to provide a good user experience to their customers. And they want to educate people who are going to Google and send them to the right place where they're going to learn something. So that's the importance of blog content. Social media content is frequently promoting your ideas and adding value to your community. Social media is all about building community, and it's about educating your prospects, demonstrating your thought leadership, and really building a brand voice in your category. And video and podcasts are subject matter expert interviews, or they could be shorts and reels that are video, could also be customer testimonials. Number of ways to be able to use video and or podcast to be able to drive more traffic to your website and to build your brand. Let's dig in a little bit more. So we're going to dig into some content marketing best practices. And the goal here is to build a sustainable growth engine with content. So we're going to peel it back a little bit now. So what this is the idea here is to align your content with the customer's journey. So if you take a stand back and you say, okay, so what should I write about? Okay, I get it. I need to educate my audience. And how am I going to do that? When you take a structural approach at doing this, you can break it down a little bit so that you can identify what content you need to write. And so let me describe what's going on with this upside down pyramid here. So the top of the funnel here is, and that's what tofu is called. It's top of the funnel. And so the idea is, what's the problem? You want to be able to identify what the problem is for your prospects, increase awareness, educate your audience, ask a specific question or specific questions, identify their pain point, and then write about it, right? So that's a good framework for you to be able to kind of start there. The benefits of that is there's SEO benefits. There are benefits to be able to communicate with your audience through social media. And typically this is blog content. These are subject matter expert videos or social media content. And that's really this top of the funnel kind of content. Then when somebody opts in or they go to your website and they're looking for more information, that's middle of the funnel, right? So this is somebody who's qualified and they now need to learn a little bit more. Now they are taken down to the street level. And what you want to do then is continue to educate those prospects and position your company as the solution to what their needs are, right? So this is lead nurturing. This is people who have already identified themselves as an opt-in maybe on your mailing list, or maybe they've given you a phone call. Maybe they've come to a webinar or a conference call that you've had, and you've invited them and they've shown interest in this, right? So this is your opportunity is to nurture those leads, right? And so lead nurturing includes video or podcasts or social media content. It can even be blog content, but the idea is continue to educate those prospects in that moment. And then the bottom of the funnel is where you generate sales. That's when you convert those prospects into sales. And this is when you want to talk with those individuals. You want to help them with their challenge and build a path forward for them so that you can provide a solution for them and you take this consultative kind of an approach with them so that you can you can help them in that moment. And it's good for them, it's good for you, and you developed a good partnership there. So that's a good framework for how we do that. As you're doing that, you want to make sure that your story is ubiquitous, right? So there's an old adage that says marketing is a game of go fishing where the fish are, right? And so what that means is not everybody's going to be coming to your website. People are on YouTube or Twitter or X now, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or they might be listening to podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or wherever. And so the idea is for you to create one piece of content that you can push out across all of these channels. And this is a big benefit by doing this, because you're able to reach people across all those different channels and throughout your social media. So we'll talk a little about inbound marketing here as kind of our next step. And when you're writing content on your website, Google favors this concept called topic clusters. And topic clusters are basically, if you look at this this diagram here, what this means is at the center of the diagram, at the center of these circles, is what we call a pillar post. A pillar post is a longer form piece of content that breaks out a particular topic. So if you are if you're a doctor and you provide pain management solutions, for example, and people have back pain, your pillar here might be treating back pain. And then there are several other supporting subtopics that support that, right? So sciatica pain or neck pain or what have you, right? That are subtopics around that. And so what you want to do is flesh out what that topic is and then build content around that particular core pillar piece of content and link it all together. So I'll give you an example. So in this other diagram here, you've got your pillar page that is your long form piece of content. This might be 3,000 words, unpacking the whole idea around back pain in this example, right? And in this article, you cover all these different subtopics, subtopic A, B, or C. And you do that on a high level, right? Then what you want to do is you want to write deeper content about subtopic A in its own separate blog post, and then a separate article about subtopic B, and then another article about subtopic C, and you link it all together. So when Google crawls your website, they see not only this pillar page about treating back pain, for example, but all of these other sub pages that are there, and that they're all linked together. And Google says, oh, I get it. I know what you're about. And this is the trick to SEO. People have made SEO a black box, but on a very simple basis, when you write content and you create these topic clusters like this, you're sending a strong signal to Google that this is what you do, you're the expert at that, and this becomes a really useful way for you to make it easy for Google to say, index me, and this is where you can put me in your index. And Google will do that. And that's how you get traffic from using content from Google. Another big benefit is that if you, and this is a pro tip here, if you look at a blog post here, why is organic marketing important, for example, and you embed a video from YouTube in particular, because Google owns YouTube. So when you embed a video from YouTube onto a blog post, Google favors that. They favor it so much so that in some research that we discovered is that when you embed videos into your blog posts, you'll double the number of keywords that are ranking in the top 10. Pretty remarkable stat, right? So this is a best practice kind of tactic. And you can use any kind of video. It can be a podcast, it can be a short, it can be any kind of information that you want to expand on this particular topic. The video needs to be relevant to the blog post, right? So they need to be saying the same thing. But what Google does is that they crawl the video, they say, what's that video about? They'll look at the transcription, and then they'll look at the content of the page, and they'll say, oh, I know what this is about. This is about organic marketing. And so in this particular case, what Google will do is that they'll favor this kind of content so that because the reason why they favor this is because they want to deliver a good experience to the user. So they know that people like video, they engage with video. And also, if they can learn more in that blog post, they're going to do that. So combining the two is a really great way to be able to accelerate your content marketing. Wait, I'm going backwards here. Got to go forward. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about the video here. So some of the results, these are some of the results that we've gotten from some of our clients by doing this, and just, proof is in the pudding, right? So let's just talk quickly about this. We won't spend too much time on this, but just want to show you this particular client here, the Funded Trader, is one of our clients. And we started with them back in November 22. They were ranking for 87 keywords in the top, it just ranking organically for those number of keywords. After we wrote a lot of content with them, they started ranking for 406 keywords. 23 of those keywords were in the top 3. Now they have 92 in the top 3. The traffic from their website went from almost 8,000 visitors a month to now 40,000 visitors a month, right? So a huge increase in their traffic. And this happens again and again, right? So Mid-South Pain Treatment Center, another client of ours, they were ranking for 127 keywords. Now they're ranking for 3,100 keywords. They went from 36 keywords to 372 in the top 10. And they were generating about 800 visitors a month to their website. They're now generating almost 30,000 visitors a month. So this happens again and again. We won't go through all of these, but the idea is that when you implement these best practices, this is the kind of growth that can happen. So now let's switch gears a little bit and say, okay, so that's all great. I get it. How do I now harness the power of AI, right? And part of this is being a systems thinker, creating workflows and tools to be able to help you do this. So you can do it at scale, and you can do it on a replicable basis, and so that it doesn't become a burden. In fact, it can be fun doing it. So the most important thing you need to know about AI content is that it's a garbage in, garbage out environment. So you probably have used ChatGPT or tried it before. You may have tried even some of the other AI tools that are out there. And what you'll notice is that when you're giving it general information, it's going to give you general information back. It's not really useful information. You need to be able to train the AI in that session on what you want to have the outcome to be, and take this flip approach to provide it enough information so that it can provide you good information back, so that you don't get this garbage in, garbage out kind of effect. So we'll dig into a demo of some pretty cool stuff here in just a moment. One thing I wanted to ask you all to do, and just take a moment here if you can, is join our community. We're going to be talking more about this in the community. This is just the beginning. And as part of our initiative in our content marketing effort, we're going to be providing you with all kinds of educational information on an ongoing basis as we build this community together. And we're there to answer any questions for you and help you through this journey so that you can be successful at content marketing using AI. So go ahead and scan the QR code and join our community. And we'd love to see you there.
Cool. Hey, Andy, leave that up, because as we go through questions, people can scan that as well. So let me go to the questions. And everybody, just so you know, I am going to share a recording. I'll send it out in an email along with any other links in the next 24 hours, closer to tomorrow, but try and get it out maybe today. Okay. So can this all be used on social media and your website at the same time, basically, creating this content?
Great question. So what you want to do is you want to focus on long form content like your blog posts and publish those on your website as a primary home destination. And then what you want to do is create a short social media post that promotes your blog post, for example. So if I'm writing a blog post about how to generate AI content to boost your business, right? And that's my blog post. And I'll write a full blog post about that. It might be 1,000 words, and that will live on my blog post on my website. Then what I'll do is I'll write a short social media post that will promote that blog post, and I'll post that in my social channels and put a link to that article on my website, so that when people see it on LinkedIn, for example, or Facebook or Instagram, primarily LinkedIn, I would imagine for most B2B companies, they'll click on that link from LinkedIn and they'll go to my website. And that's how you can drive traffic to your website.
Okay. What tools are you using to find blog topics?
Great question. So number of ways to be able to do that. There are search marketing tools that are out there. There's a few that I would recommend. One is Ahrefs, is a good one. These are paid software applications. SEMrush, also semrush.com, is another good one. Those are kind of like the two industry leaders that SEO companies use. I'll show you just in a moment how we do it at Composer. We have a feature in Composer that allows you to identify keywords and then write content about them. You can even go to ChatGPT and type in something like, what keywords are applicable for my business? This is what I do, and ask them. And so that can be other ways to be able to generate ideas.
So someone's asking, is Composer similar to ChatGPT, or you're creating the content for your client? Is it considered an AI tool that they can go in and utilize?
It is, yeah. So what we've done is we've simplified the content creation process dramatically by with Composer, right? So what oftentimes people have a hard time doing is creating content that becomes useful in ChatGPT, for example. So what we've done is we've done all of the prompt management that needs to happen to be able to get the right results. You can train Composer on your own brand. So we have a feature where we crawl your website, we learn about your business, and we train the AI on your business and build your brand voice, so that when we write content, we're writing content that is designed for your brand voice.
Okay. How much content should we be creating?
A lot, as much as possible. So best practices are, if you can do it, I would recommend publishing every day. Now, I know that's hard. That's a tall ask, right? So how do you do that? You're going to need some tools to be able to do that effectively. If you can't do it every day, every other business day is also great, right? Velocity matters when you're building your brand voice. You want to be able to be in the market and do this. If you want to do it 5 times a month, it's totally fine. Maybe start there. Whatever works for you. But what you want to do is you want to start at a place and you want to do it consistently and start to build a habit around it. And then you can accelerate it from there. At Composer, we have a do-it-for-me solution. So if you wanted to have us do it for you, we can totally do that too.
But the user can use Composer on their own. They don't
But
need
you
to.
can use Composer on your
Okay.
own and do it yourself too. So we're 2 different services.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in a few minutes, I just want to get through the questions, but in a few minutes, Andy's going to show us around Composer. So we might get more questions after that as well. But should a blog be on my website, or should it be on its own site?
Great question. It should be on your website. And the reason why is because you're writing content and you're investing in your business. And when you invest in your business, you want that traffic to go to your website, not somebody else's. The only caveat that I would say to that is that if you're a B2B company and you want to publish directly to LinkedIn, you can certainly do that, and provide a call to action to drive traffic to your website. But 9 times out of 10, I would suggest that you invest in building content on your website. And I would also say, sometimes people ask, well, should it be blog.mywebsite.com or should it be mywebsite.com/blog, right? It should be the latter. It should be mywebsite.com/blog. Google favors that from an SEO standpoint. And if you're going to be investing in content, I'd recommend that you structure your website that way.
And just for clarity, because I have a few questions on this. So the process is to create content, put it on a blog on your website, then send that out to your other platforms, like social media platforms. Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you have a destination place where you can send the traffic to. Exactly.
Okay. And a few people are asking about the cost of Composer, which will cover Alignable's offer. So for Alignable members, Composer has a special offer, which we'll talk about after we get through some of these other questions. Where do you place content to gain followers?
You place it on social media. That's the best place that you're going to gain followers, right? And so you're going to start, let's say you start with a fresh account. You have no followers right now. What you do is you start publishing some content, you connect with other people. You can also do searches, by the way. A lot of people don't know this, but you can do searches on social media channels, follow other people, DM them, ask them to follow you back, right? And even mention other people who are influencers in your category. Tag them when you mention them, and maybe they'll follow you back. And when they follow you back, maybe some of their followers start to follow you back, and becomes a snowball effect from there. That's it. All starts with content. You have to be able to publish something so that people have a reason to follow you.
Okay. What does, and if you go back a few slides, what does the keywords in the top 3 mean? And I don't know if that was on the funnel.
Yeah.
If you can go back to that.
We're good. Right. So the top 3, right? So the top 3 are typically search results above, it's called above the fold. So when you go to Google and you do a search, the search results that you see are in the top 3 search results on the page. There are 10 search results on the page. So being in the top 3, that's where most of the traffic goes, right? In fact, the number 1 position for any keyword gets about 30% of the clicks for that search term, right? So, and then number 2 and number 3. After that, it becomes diminishing returns. So getting your keyword in the top 3 is a big deal, and that's what you want to start focusing on.
Okay. Let's see, we've got a couple more. In topic clusters, should each paragraph have a heading?
Each section should have
or each paragraph?
Not necessarily each paragraph, but each section, right? So what you want to do is you want to think of, before you write your content, you want to create an outline for that content, and you want to say, what am I talking about, and then structure the outline in such a way so that you have section heads. Those section heads are also known as H2 tags in HTML, right? So, and what that does is, and you want to use the search term in those H2 tags because it sends a signal to Google to say, this is what I'm writing about. I'm writing about AI content marketing. So if that's my keyword that I'm going to write about, I want that to show up frequently throughout the blog post.
Someone else is asking, do you use hashtags? So whether they use hashtags or when content would be created by Composer, do they come up with hashtags?
Yeah, so hashtags are a great way to be able to promote your content in social media. So what happens with that is that if somebody searches for that hashtag, and let's say they search on X or on TikTok or anywhere, when you use that hashtag, there's a chance that you might show up in those search results and capture some of that broader traffic.
Okay. What about getting graphics that these paid content providers use? Stock photos are expensive. So where would you recommend getting any type of graphics where it's not so expensive? Some of them are ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are several places. You can get images from Unsplash is a good website. It's free. Good library there. You can also, if you want to pay for an account, Shutterstock has a good service. I think if you pay, I think it's somewhere around 20 to 30 cents an image when you buy subscription. let me think about other places, but those are the two that pop up in my mind first.
Okay, and we'll just take a few more questions. Then Andy will go into the product and show you some of the features of the product as well. And he'll be able to answer any of the composer questions that you guys might have. So in certain industries, there's a lot of things that you cannot say. So health, wellness, certain nutrition that you're not allowed to say. If you're part of a direct sales company, there are also a lot of things they cannot say. How do you get around that by using a tool like Weather Composer, ChatGPT? How do you get around that?
Yeah, so this is the flip side to garbage in, garbage out, right? So what you want to do is you want to tell the AI what you can't do, right? Simply just say it, like if there are restrictions there, build a list of these restrictions so that when you tell the AI that you can't say something like, "We are the best doctor in Los Angeles," right? You can't say that in healthcare. So you want to tell the AI that you can't say those kinds of things. It's sensationalistic. So you want to stick to the facts. So the idea is training the AI in that session for what you want the output to be. So think of it as like you're eliciting the response from the AI. And in order to do that, you need to tell it what it can and can't do so that when it outputs the result, it gives you the desired result.
Cool. So while you're pulling up the platform and showing everybody, let me just ask you, I had 2 questions with hashtags. How do you find the hashtags to use? And very quick explanation, because a few people have asked, keywords, hashtags, main difference.
Keywords and hashtags are similar. What you can do is there are a few search tools out there depending on the channel that you're using the hashtags in. So if you're using hashtags on X, for example, which is a good place to use those hashtags because people search hashtags on X or on TikTok. So great place to use those hashtags. Less so probably on maybe on Instagram, but less so. They've kind of made it more effective for TikTok and X. But there are places that you can go. You can do a search on Google for hashtag search tools and see where there's search volume using those hashtags. So if you have an idea, it might give you some ideas for your category, or you might just create a hashtag and coin it and own it and just keep promoting that as part of your identity. So a number of different ways that you can approach that.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to mute, turn off my camera and let you roll for a few minutes. And then if people have questions, I'd like to be able to ask you a couple more questions about.
Sounds good. Great. So this is Composer, right? So what we've done is we started the process by clicking a new article here. We have several keywords here that, as an AI company, we've added these here. So we're going to go ahead and just write a blog post, and I'll just show you how easy it is to do that. So I'm just going to start with benefits of content marketing with AI, right? So we'll start there. And what this shows you now is several different kinds of articles that we can write. We can write a blog post, a how-to, an op-ed, a listicle, a product review, an ultimate guide, and we can create short and long pieces of content. For the purposes of the demo here, I'll create a blog post. And what this does is the next step is it'll suggest headlines to you that are thematically related, right? So the benefits of content marketing with AI. So these are headlines that it'll suggest to you. So gone are the days of you having to think about like, oh, what headline should I write about or whatever. This just shows you and it provides something for you to react to. So unleashing the untold advantages of AI in content marketing. Is AI the ultimate game changer for content marketing success? AI's role in content marketing, revealing the revolutionary benefits, how AI is redefining content marketing strategies for businesses, and the surprising impact of AI for content marketing effectiveness. I can regenerate those headlines if I don't like them. I can add my own headline here. But for the purposes of the demo here, we'll go with this one, how AI is redefining content marketing strategies for business, because that's along the line of what we're talking about here. And so now what this next step is, again, this is the opposite of garbage in, garbage out. We're now training the AI in this moment to write this article. And so what we'll do is we'll choose a perspective. This is the core, the gist of what we're going to write about. Analyzing AI's impact on content ROI and engagement metrics, exploring AI-powered personalization and targeted content delivery, or highlighting efficiency gains through AI-driven content and curation. I'm going to go with the ROI article, and that's what we're going to write about. And so now what this is doing, this is writing the outline. I was talking about outlines a little bit ago, right? So now, just like that, we've got our outline here, AI's impact on content ROI and engagement metrics, right? So here's some stats right out of the gate. AI-powered personalization and targeted content delivery. So we'll dig into that a little bit in this article. Efficiency gains through AI-driven content and curation. Navigating ethical considerations in AI-enhanced content marketing. Future landscape, AI's evolution in content marketing. So this is our outline on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we have a canvas where we can change this, we can modify it, we can add other things that we want to add into this. So, if we wanted to, highlight essential points, for example, or if we wanted to suggest further research, or let's say promote Composer as the leading software platform for AI content marketing, I can add in that and promote my own business. So you can do this with your business, and I can revise the outline here, and it'll create a revision of this outline that includes, those details that I just gave it, right? So now, we got a little bit of a beefier outline, and now we're promote Composer as the leading software platform here. So great. So this looks good. So I'm going to go with this outline. And now what we do is we pick the voice of the article. This is the tone of the article, the writer persona. So I have an SEO specialist, a technologist, a financial analyst, entrepreneur, marketing manager, lifestyle luminary. I'm going to go with the SEO specialist since I'm going to write this article for SEO. And what it'll do is it'll write the article now. This takes about 30 seconds, but what's happening here is compiling all of the information that I just gave it. It's also, we've trained it on tens of thousands of articles that we've written. And we've also trained it on Google's SEO guidelines, which is a 186-page document that talks about SEO best practices. And so now it's formulating that article using all of this information in one shot. We've got our keyword here, we've got our blog post, and here's our article, just like that, right? So one thing to note, we're going to look at the keyword count. Look at that, 1,300 word article, just like that. You can't do this in ChatGPT. It's just too difficult, and the output doesn't work like this. So what you have now is you've got a really good beefy article talking about our keyword, redefining how to use AI to redefine content marketing strategies. And you can do this yourself for your own business and write these kinds of articles. There you go. There's promoting Composer here. And so here's our article. And what I can do is I can even add in other things. I can use the canvas here. I can even translate it into other languages if I want to, if I'm appealing to a global audience or maybe a certain audience here domestically that speaks, Spanish, for example. So I can use any one of these suggestions. These are frequent suggestions that our users have told us they like. We can also, punch up any part of the article here. Like, for example, I can add a CTA, a call to action, and I can add my website here, composerapp.ai, right? And so I'll just go ahead and revise the article and do that, and it'll add a call to action in the article. Then I have a final article that I can use, and I can publish this to my website. And so it's really easy to be able to use this kind of tool to be able to publish daily. Takes us back to what we were talking about with frequency. Frequency is important to be able to publish on a regular basis. So this is a really simple way to do this, and you can use this tool yourself to be able to generate this, these kinds of articles. So we've got a do-it-yourself version of this. We also have account managers. Here's our link to promote the business here. We also have account managers available to help you do this. So we have a do-it-for-me solution if you ever wanted to jump on board and use that solution. Then we'll get into some other capability that we have just in a moment. So Randy, that's the quick demo. Just want to show everybody.
Okay, if you want to go right into your other slides, I think you said.
Yeah,
that would be great. And then what I'm going to do is in the chat, as I have some questions while you're in and talking about Composer, I'll throw into the chat on Zoom so you can see some of the questions. So one is, while you're pulling that up, do you have a plagiarism tool?
We do, yeah. So there's a plagiarism check in the platform. Each article that we generate is unique. So no plagiarism issues.
Okay. And then while you were pulling up other slides, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So another question is, hasn't Google started to use filters to filter out from top searches if content is AI generated, meaning not original?
Yeah. So yeah, let's demystify that a little bit, because there's a lot of confusion around this. So Google initially had, and there's a lot of news around this, where Google said that content that was written, they would favor content that was written by humans. They've changed that to say that they favor content that is written for humans, right? So what that means is it can be written by AI, as long as it's written for humans and as long as it's useful content. There's, again, garbage in, garbage out kind of environment. So if you're not knowing how to use the tools properly, you're going to get some AI gobbledygook kind of content that Google's going to look at and they're going to go, yeah, that's AI. That's not useful. We've spent a lot of time with Composer to make it so that it feels very much like the content is written by humans. And in fact, we have this concept called human in the loop. So with our Do It For Me service, we actually have an editor who goes through your article. We write the article for you using the platform. You're welcome to use it yourself, but we have a content writer that would go in there, write the content using Composer, and then edit it before we deliver it to you. And we also, with our Do It For Me solution, we connect your website, your social media channels to a platform where we can not only write the content, but we add in images and we create your social post, and then we post it all for you. So everything is done, entirely in that kind of environment. And you have an account manager that you meet with monthly to put your plan together. And then we create 5, 10, 15, 20 blog posts a month for you. So that's our Do It For Me solution.
Okay, so I'll post stuff into the chat. We have a few questions as we're going through this, and only a few minutes left.
Great.
So, and a few have asked about cost and the offer. And everybody, just so you know, at the top of your screen, you've got a banner. You can click that to learn more about Composer and what they offer and their costs. And that'll open up in another tab. But if you want to kind of work through this, Andy.
Absolutely. So, okay. So a couple of things I want to just add to what we're doing. We're excited to launch a new service also where we provide shorts and reels, and we can create shorts and reels via AI. So you give us any YouTube link that you have of any video that you've created, and we can create shorts and reels that have the subtitles in them, and they're edited for you, all using AI. So a very affordable solution to be able to do this, and then we do the publishing for you. So I'll get into pricing on that in just a moment. So here's our offer. Typically, our pricing for our reel service is $100 per reel. For Alignable clients who sign up for our Reels as a service before March 30th, it's $50 per article or per reel, right? So really simple pricing, $50 per article or per reel that we do. And we have these 3 different tiers: 5 articles or reels a month, 10 articles or reels a month, or 15 articles and reels a month. And these are the price points based on the volume here. So really simple pricing. There's a link to get started. And in that link, you can go create your account in Composer and just start using it. You get a free article already in there in your account when you sign up. So you can just give it a shot for free. And then there's a place to be able to sign up. So that's this is our special offer for everybody on the call today. And we're really excited about getting this started with you.
Can Composer also generate images as well?
We do
Graphics?
in the do it for me solution, we do. So this is our do it for me solution that we're offering to the Alignable community here. So we will include images, and we'll also include posting for you as well. So you'll get an account manager with us who will, once you sign up, will reach out to you, schedule a time to kick things off, and you'll have an account manager that will connect your website, your social channels to a platform, and then we will write content for you. We'll put a strategy together for you and get you up and running.
So if it's, say, 2 people from a lifestyle business, interior design, for example, a few of them join, use Composer, how is it that the copy is different? You know, they want to make sure that the articles wouldn't be the same or even similar.
Yep, great question. So a lot of times when a lot of businesses are local, right? So that's a differentiator. So if you want to focus on your own local market, that's fine. If you're a national brand and we have 2, national brands that are in the same category, there's so much opportunity in terms of number of keywords and search terms that you can rank for and that you can write about, that there's plenty of differentiation. It's an ocean, right? There's so many ways that you can approach this. So it's highly unlikely that you would have businesses that would be competing with each other in this regard. And furthermore, every website is different, right? So even if you're writing about the same topic, using Composer, for example, one person might be talking about op-ed content or creating listicles, where the other person is creating ultimate guides or blog posts, and they're just different types of content. So that all helps to create differentiation as well.
Okay. And just like 2 more questions and then we're going to end. So does this work sort of like Hootsuite and those tools in connecting to your social platforms?
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll do that for you, and we have a way to be able to connect that, and that's on our kickoff call that we'll do with you.
Okay. So if somebody wants to sign up just for like one article, $50 for an article or reel, do they have to sign up for the whole month? This is a question I'm getting.
Yeah, we're not doing a la carte, kind of programs like this. We're really helping businesses who want to grow. And rather than, dipping your toe in the water and doing like one, because honestly, one's okay, but it's not going to get you any growth. You really need to do this on a consistent basis and have this be part of your marketing mix on a consistent, steady basis. And I would say, put this in your budget for your growth. This is your growth engine here, and invest in your business and in your voice. A one and done isn't gonna move the needle. And so because of that, we're focusing on businesses that want to grow. There's a huge demand here for those businesses, and that's who our ideal customer is.
And the biggest thing is, and I've been in marketing, my whole career, but marketing costs money. It really does. And, small business owners are wearing a lot of different hats. So a business owner should really concentrate on what they can spend the time on. And marketing, a lot of times, is what gets pushed aside when in a sense. It's so important to growing a business.
Yeah, it's your growth engine. So,
Yeah.
and the reason why we've created our whole platform and service level here with clients is because we know that this stuff is hard. So we've developed systems and processes around this to make it easy for you. So you can focus on your core business, knowing that you don't have to stop and go, okay, now what am I going to write about? And you can just focus on the growth of your business.
So I have two quick questions, short answer, and then we're going to end. Is there a limit to how many of our social media channels are included in the package?
Nope. We include all the social channels: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn,
Okay.
X, Pinterest even.
Okay, cool. Must you sign up for a long-term commitment, minimum number of months, or can you do it for a month or two?
You can do it for a month or two. We recommend
Try.
this, on a consistent basis, but if it's, you need just a month or two, that's fine.
Okay. So here's what I want everyone to do. If I didn't get to your question, because there still are a few more questions. Andy is active in the Composer group. I've shared the links through the chat. I will be sharing a recording tomorrow through email, as well as all the other links that we were discussed. Andy's also doing, and I just shared this in the chat, he is doing a, in the group tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern time, learn best practices for AI content marketing in 2024. So join the group, sign up for his class tomorrow. That will happen within the group. So you'll be able to ask Andy questions directly. And click the banner at the top of your screen. You can learn more about Composer. Andy, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to present this.
My pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, all
I
good
really
stuff.
enjoyed
And
this. Hopefully everybody had, learned some things here today. We'd love to continue the conversation. Please join us tomorrow as well. And please sign up and get your free article. We've set it up so that all Alignable customers get a free trial. So go ahead and give it a shot. And then, from there, you can sign up right inside the app. Or, if you have any questions, we can talk about them tomorrow on our call.
And again, go to the group, Composers group on Alignable. Andy's very active. He's got a team on there that's active. So you can post any of your questions there and get the discussions going as well. Again, Andy's got another event tomorrow within the group that everybody can sign up for. I will share recording, all the links mentioned, and you can click that banner and learn more about Composer. Andy, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
All right. Take care, everybody.